everyone. So the 2025 Cannes Film Festival is a few months away. I'm planning to go back there again this year to cover the festival for you. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about Cannes recently, and it's dawned on me that the last 5 recipients of the Palme d'Or over the last 5 years of the Cannes Film Festival have gone to films that were produced by Neon. Isn't that kind of crazy that Neon has had a 5-year, consecutive years I should say, winning streak of winning the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival? Okay, that is wild. But will they make it a 6th consecutive year and win the Palme d'Or this year as well? Time will tell. But yeah, I had a little bit of inspiration, thought it might be a fun video if I ranked all of Neon's 5 Palme d'Or winning films from the past 5 years. So thank you for tuning in. But remember guys, this is just one bloke's opinion, okay? This ranking video is subjective. I'm only doing this for my own and hopefully your amusement. And besides, I like, if not love, all 5 of these movies. They're all amazing films, all very worthy winners. So whatever film comes in at number 5, it's still in very good company. So yeah, looking back at the last 5 years of the Cannes Film Festival, from 2019 to 2024, our winners of the Palme d'Or were, back in 2019, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. In 2020, we had Julia Ducournau's Titane. In 2021, we had Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness. In 2022, we had Justine Trier's Anatomy of a Fall. And just last year, in 2023, we had Sean Baker win for Anora. All these films managed to win the top prize at Cannes. They were all distributed by Neon, and they were all enjoyed by yours truly. But how do I personally rank them? That's probably why you clicked on this video, eh? But yeah, what comes in at number 5? Well, typically a good starting point for me to work off of when I'm trying to rank a bunch of films that I really like is to ask myself the question, how many times have I seen these films? Because I do think that rewatch or replay value is a good unit of measurement in order to quantify how much I love a movie. More so I'd say than what score did I give the film when I first watched it or reviewed it, because your opinion can change from when you first watched or reviewed a film. Actually, that's a good side note. I have reviewed all of these films on my channel, so I'm not going to be going into too much detail about all the films, but if you want my full thoughts and analysis on any of the past 5 Palme d'Or winners, you can find reviews for them on the channel. But I will leave links for my reviews for all 5 of these films in the video description down below if you want to check any of them out. And while we're on the subject, I am going back to the Cannes Film Festival this year. Going to be reviewing the festival for you guys, so if you want those early Cannes reviews as well as more Oscars content, more prediction videos, more reaction videos, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. But yeah, out of these 5, I think I knew pretty quickly which film would come in at number 5, solely based on the whole rewatch factor, and it is Julia Ducournau's Titane. Like I said in my review, I really enjoyed this film and I couldn't get it out of my head for a while after I first watched it. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10 after I first watched it, but I do think this is one of those films which I've only grown to appreciate it even more as I've gotten older. But Titane was an inspired choice to win the Palme d'Or that year, because often movies with a lot of body horror don't typically win the top prize at Cannes. Titane is a rare outlier when you look back at the previous recipients of the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Although I will say, it felt like Coralie Fargeat's The Substance came pretty close to winning the top prize last year, but Sean Baker's more accessible film, Anora, ended up taking the top prize, and Coralie Fargeat had to settle for Best Screenplay. But yeah, I love how ambitious and ambiguous Titane actually is, and I love that it's a movie that's not just saying one particular thing. It can be interpreted in so many different ways, whether it's gender, identity, sexuality, the trans experience, found family, or trauma. Okay, there was a lot to unpack here, and Julia Ducournau doesn't give us any solid answers, okay? It's up to every audience member to decide for themselves what it all means. But yeah, the film is provocative, it's allegorical, it's unapologetically weird and queer, and given that it was up against other films like Drive My Car, Compartment Number 6, and The Worst Person in the World, it really is a unusual but inspired choice for the Palme d'Or. But yeah, out of all 5 of Neon's past 5 Palme d'Or winning films, Titane is the one film that I haven't come back to yet for a second serving. Not because I don't want to rewatch it, I do, but Titane is definitely one of those films where you kind of need to be in the mood to watch it again. Also, an interesting little side note is that Titane is the only one of the 5 films in this ranking video which didn't get a directing nom or a Best Picture nom at the Oscars. But yeah, even though I really did enjoy Titane and it has lingered with me ever since I saw it all those years ago, it comes in at number 5 because I just haven't found myself coming back to it as quickly as all the other films in this list. Okay, so at number 4, this is where it starts to get a lot trickier, because from this point on, every one of these films I think I gave a 10 out of 10 to and said they are movies that everyone should watch at least once before they die. So yeah, I'm ranking like the best of the best. But yeah, number 4, I ended up settling on Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness. Watching this film for the first time in Cannes was one of those cinematic experiences which I will treasure forever. French audiences will let you know when they love something, and they will also let you know when they hate something, okay? They are not opposed to booing a film at a prestigious festival like Cannes. Watching Triangle of Sadness for the first time in the Palais with this particular audience was wild. It was like day 5 or 6 of the festival, and there was a lot of serious fare. And I think a lot of people at Cannes at that point were just kind of desperate for something we could laugh at, you know, give us some levity. And sure as hell, Triangle of Sadness was the movie that we were craving. The amount of laughter I experienced by watching Triangle of Sadness for the first time was deafening. People were slapping their thighs and like fighting for breath in certain sequences. But yeah, Ruben Östlund's satire on influencer culture, the super rich, and you know, capitalism in general was the jolt of energy that we desperately needed. I love Triangle of Sadness. It was easily my favorite film of the festival that year, and it was a film that I was pushing on my friends when I got back from Cannes. Couldn't wait for more people to see it. And comparatively to all the other films in this list, Triangle of Sadness is definitely the film I laughed the hardest in. The yacht scene, I laughed so hard I actually cried. But I think the reason I put it in at number 4 is because the other 3 films that are above it, I was a little bit more emotionally invested in the characters in those films than I was in Triangle of Sadness. Triangle of Sadness very much is an ensemble film, and everyone's great in it, but it's hard for me to pinpoint just exactly who the protagonist is. I think some people will say it's Harris Dickinson and Sharply Dean's characters, but there are chunks of that film where there isn't a lot of focus on them. But I will say, I loved how Dolly DeLeon quietly hijacked the film in the last third, when it's like Lord of the Flies, but with entitled, privileged, rich people. But yeah, while Dolly DeLeon was the standout performance, she wasn't what I would call the protagonist. So yeah, while I do love coming back to Triangle of Sadness and just enjoying the absurdity of it all, the characters in the other films I'm a little bit more attached to, so that's why I put it in at number 4. So coming into number 3 now, this is just getting harder and harder. Ask me to rank these films in 5 years' time, and it might be a little bit different, but as of where I am right now, I've decided to put Justine Trier's Anatomy of a Fall in at number 3. Again, Anatomy of a Fall was my favorite film that I saw at the Cannes Film Festival that year. I wasn't really familiar with Justine Trier's work, but I knew who Sandra Hüller was from Tony Erdmann, and she had a good year that year. She had this and The Zone of Interest both at Cannes Film Festival. But yeah, this film just knocked me socks off. Knocked me socks off. Ooh, did I just go a little bit Scottish there? On me wee oot. I was completely transfixed watching Anatomy of a Fall, and not just because of Sandra Hüller's stellar trilingual performance, just wow. She's who I would have picked to have won Best Actress that year. But yeah, the film just mixes really gripping genres together because it is a domestic drama, so it's emotional, but it's also got a courtroom drama vibe to it. And it's also a bit of a whodunit murder mystery in a sense. Like it's just a playful mix of those genres, and it doesn't give too much away. It leaves things ambiguous, and even the ending with the verdict, it's still up to us, the audience, to decide whether we think she did it or not. But yeah, Anatomy of a Fall is an absolute banger, so if you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. It's awesome. So yeah, coming in at number 2, we have the most recent recipient of the Palme d'Or, which was Sean Baker's Anora. I've talked so much about Anora on my channel this past year that there's nothing that I can say here that I haven't already said, so yeah, I'm just gonna be repeating myself, but yeah. I love Anora, guys. Mikey Madison was just phenomenal to watch in this. Sean Baker finally giving his flowers for this incredible movie. You know how much I love Anora. It's just one of my favorite films of last year. Came in number 2, or only second to The Substance, which was also at Cannes. But yeah, Anora is, yeah, a future American classic, I think. I'm so glad it won Best Picture as well at the Oscars. And tying in very nicely with the number 1 film on this ranking video is also Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. That won the Palme d'Or and then went on to win the Oscar. A historic win, because it was the first, international feature or film not in the English language primarily to go on to win the Best Picture Oscar. History-making win, that. And yeah, I think that's part of the reason why it always comes out on top, is just because it's such a monumental, glass ceiling breaking type of movie. Just its impact on cinema is going to be felt for decades to come, and how it's opened doors for people. And it's just a flipping good movie. Like, not only is it a satire about class and power, it's also just a fun time at the movies. Like, it is just such a fun watch, seeing these two families interact and how one family is duping the other, and it's a lot of fun. Like, it's rare to get Best Picture winners that are this much fun, which is why I put Parasite in at number 1. But yeah, you guys have heard me gush about Anora on the channel, but you probably heard me gush just as much about Parasite. Again, there's not much else I can say here that I haven't already said. I just love it. But yeah, those are how I would rank the 5 past Palme d'Or winners that came from Neon. I go with Titane, Triangle of Sadness, Anatomy of a Fall, Anora, and Parasite. But yeah, my question for you guys today is, how do you rank the past 5 Neon films that won the Palme d'Or? Whatever your rankings or whatever you have to say about these films, do let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed the video, help me out by hitting that little thumbs up button for me. It's very good for the algorithm if you want more movie, TV, and wait, here it is. Oscars-related content. Never get to click subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.